dude, you and I talked about like that link to where there's some people that just walk on campus and they're natural born. Like Al was a lead from the time his true freshman. Like the minute he stepped on the field, he was a leader. You don't get those, but every so often, like, and maybe in a generation, you only get one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else has to come in, pay their dues. You prove yourself on the field. You learn how to, from the older guys, how to conduct yourself, how to lead by both examples. Some people are more by example. Some people are, they talk and lead, which is, you have to have different kind of leaders. But those guys really showed you the way, showed me the way, showed us the way on how to be leaders. And especially, of course, everybody razzes the young guys a little bit. But at the end of the day, they were teaching us after we get past the little bit of razzing, they're showing you how to conduct yourself, how to be I say the word professional, but we're collegiate athletes, but how to conduct it was a job for us. We always looked at this like a job, how to conduct yourself as in that manner. And you learn that from the older guys. When you step out of line, the best coaches can't really do that part of it. The best policing and the best discipline on the team comes from inside that locker room. And we had great locker room. I tell this story too. I told it before. One of the first practices we came in 2 days, we're coming off the baseball field and we're walking back to the complex. And I never forgot we had the orange Gatorade cans. And I was tired. I was beat. I finished the can and I threw it on that road in between I just threw it down. I was littering. And Jason Lehman comes up behind me. He was like freshman. Pick that up. I was like, I was like, okay, I'll get it. I'll get it now. I'll get it this time. But that was one of those things. It's not you look at it, it's not important. It was a can. Somebody was gonna get it, but it's so much that goes into that. Exactly. You're tired. Just because you're tired doesn't mean you're not supposed to do the right things. And that's like, okay, you got to make better decisions, think better. Something small like that. It obviously stuck with me for a long time because I still to this day remember it. That's just one of a whole bunch of examples of just those, being a leader and the older guys taking the younger guys under their wing.
You remember being a freshman, and the rule used to be on the bus, in the locker room, or even in the cafeteria. Hey man, you don't have enough hours to say anything yet. You don't even have
you don't have enough hours yet. Yeah. You don't have enough hours to have an opinion yet. You don't, because you don't know enough to say enough to weigh in.
Exactly.
And that was nobody liked it at first, but it's like, when you got in a position to be that other guy, like you understood it and you got it there.
Exactly. So, but that was teaching us how to be leaders too, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Fred, I want you to, because you and I've talked about it, kind of address the transfer of leadership, of power, so to speak. But I'm curious in particular. There was a lot made of Peyton Manning setting up off-season workouts and that sort of thing. I don't know how much he did, how much the whole team did it, but what kind of an impact did he have, even though he wasn't a part of the '98 team leading up to that? What kind of an impact do you think Peyton Manning had before his NFL career?
Man, a huge, because you got to think about something. We are practicing every day against the number one quarterback, the guy who won in the draft, considered one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever played the game. Like, that's the guy who we practice against every day. I mean, every day. Now, there are some days where he got to us, but we got to him a lot. I guarantee you he didn't see as many in college. He didn't see no defense like ours, except for maybe Florida.
Yeah. Right, Jeff.
So I agree with that take, but I'll give you a different take. The impact that he had on the '98 team. We were trying to get from under his shadow, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but Peyton Manning has such a large presence, and he held that presence for 4 years. And I'm not saying, there weren't other players and people that got attention, credit, whatever the case may be, but it was about him. And again, I don't mean that in a negative way. And this gets me to, the story about Coach Foreman. When we have a senior meeting every year. And I know I'm saying I'm gonna give it a different take. I've told this story before, I'm gonna give it a different take on it. because we had just lost some of the other guys I just mentioned. We just lost Terry Fair. We just lost Marcus Leonard, and of course Peyton. And
JB.
yeah, JB. And we have that meeting, and Coach Fulmer and I keep asking him about it. He said he was joking. He was doing it to motivate, but he meant it. He told the seniors, he's like, I'm looking around. I don't see all the people I just mentioned, and I don't know if we're going to be 7-4, 6-5 next year.
He said 8-4, 6-5, 8-4, 7-5.
No. You weren't in there. He said 6-5 or 7-4. It was not 8.
He said it in another meeting too, though.
I would have taken I would have taken 8-4, but he didn't give us enough credit. And for the longest time, like I said, I was, and that was because Peyton wasn't in there anymore, and those other guys wasn't there. And for the longest time, I took offense to that. It bothered me. Then when I sat and I think about it, like, you lost all these guys. You open up the season against Syracuse and Donovan McNabb. We play Florida, haven't beat Florida in a while. Go to Georgia, go to Auburn, play a tough Mississippi State, play a tough Arkansas. Like, oh shit. So I could kind of see that, but it was motivation for us, and I say that it was motivation to get from under those guys. We had a bunch of guys who had been waiting their turn, a bunch of guys who were trying to prove themselves, redeem themselves. It was just a bunch of a lot of people had chips on their shoulders for various reasons.
Oh yeah, we did,
and a lot of people had that. So that's some of what they left. And it's not like you played behind these guys. You play behind Jonathan, you play behind Leonard. You get your opportunity. Okay, what are you gonna do? So there was a lot of that going on in '98.
Yeah, it was prove yourself. Because here's the thing: when your coach says you're gonna be 8-4, we're 8-4 team at best. Hey man, that locker room. I don't know if anybody else in that room felt like I did. I think everybody did. Like, hey man, did he just say that? He really did just say that.
And see, you're talking about the full team meeting. I'm talking about the smaller seniors when he meets with the seniors. You know that meeting. He said that in front of everybody again too. That's when he added a win to it after that when he was talking to everybody else. He said it to the full room before too. And I've asked every 5 years or so, I ask him about that, and he still says he didn't mean it. He meant it. He was serious about that.
We had our own team meeting after that. We kicked all the coaches out of that meeting room.
Wow.
I remember that. I remember just like some of the things that was said. It ain't my story to tell on that part, so I let somebody else tell it. But that part was, I think, when we left that meeting room and went to practice that day, I think we knew at that moment we were going to win that championship.
That it was that moment, that day, that meeting?
I think it put everything in motion because it made you feel like, dang, they don't even believe in us. But we believed in us. And it made you work harder.
I'll be completely honest. I knew we weren't going to be 6-5, 7-4, 8-4, 6, 7-4, 8-5, or whatever. I didn't at the time. I knew we were going to be. We just had too much talent to not be good. Because you have to think. A lot of what drove that '98 team was a lot of the young guys. We had a really good mix of grizzled, old, about to get out of here, been here too long veterans, the upperclassmen right behind us, and then these crazy talented young guys. But crazy talent doesn't always equal product on the field. We've all seen it. Mm-hmm. So I knew we had a bunch of talent. We had a bunch of young talent, but you don't know until you actually see it. So once we got a couple games into the season and I saw these young guys, like, okay, then whatever concerns I had, they were gone. It was like, okay, we can run now. I knew we were going to be good. I'm not going to lie and say I didn't know we were going to win it all early in the season. But once I saw these young guys step up, I was like, oh, yeah, we got something now. So,
Jeff, I felt like we were going to win that championship every year we were there. 95, I thought we were going to win.
I felt that before. I felt it before.
I thought we were going to win that championship. 97, I thought we were going to win that championship. 98 and 99. It wasn't a year that I didn't think we were going to win.
Well, let me say, I want to win it every year, but I'm speaking as 47, thinking back of like being realistic. Like, yeah, I want to win it every year. I thought we were going to win it a bunch of times, but
I did too.
Yeah,
we had the talent.
Yeah.
He had the talent to. I guarantee you that.
So Fred told me this story, and I think you recalled it as well, Jeff, about kind of the 1997 SEC championship game in which you guys were trailing, and there was a kind of a change of the guard, so to speak, in the locker room. So I want to get to that, where a guy named Al maybe Al Wilson, where he kind of set forth his leadership skills. We're going to take 30 seconds. This is Celebrate 98, brought to you by Tennessee Cider Company. Tennessee Cider Company is the first cidery to set up shop in Gatlinburg, surrounded by the mountains that hold and defend a spirit far better than moonshine. 30 seconds and back. Celebrate 98 with VFL defensive lineman Jeff Coleman and safety Fred White.
These mountains hold and defend a spirit far better than moonshine. A drink that holds flavor that becomes necessity. A hard cider made and relished by folk who are as hearty as they are legend. A refreshment that can only be found in one place. With a taste that makes you say, give me 3 bottles of the good stuff. Tennessee Cider Company, where necessity can be found.
All right, Fred. So set the stage. Halftime at the 1997 SEC championship game, and you guys were expected by everybody to win easily. You had Peyton Manning, who should have won the Heisman Trophy, but didn't play your best first half. And then what happened at halftime?
Let me say this real quick first. Tennessee Cider Company, if you go into Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge area, make sure you stop by and go and see them. It's a great experience to go to their winery and get a tasting and those type of things there. It's a fun time too, by the way. So we're not playing great on offense this first half.
Takeo Spikes had something to do with that, but I'll let you tell this.
Their defense was pretty good. Their defense was in the top 10.
Absolutely.
They were good. Their secondary was good. They had a really good football team. D-line was strong. Our offense is not playing very well. But on defense, we're playing lights out.